The Legend of Zelda is rather famous for plenty of reasons that many fans will often take note of. Certain examples include Zelda's very unique dungeon designs, characters, storytelling, and exploration mechanics. However, today I will be discussing about the abundance of interesting items featured within the game series itself. More specifically, I will be discussing my top 5 favorite Zelda items. Link's arsenal featured on this list are the most fun, or perhaps original, the series has yet to offer. If my opinions don't match up with yours, please, by all means, discuss in the comments how your list would have ended up. Without further ado, here are my top 5 favorite Zelda items. Number 5 is the Deku Leaf from The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. How could I describe this item within layman's terms? Simply put, it is tremendously satisfying to glide enormous distances. This item has perhaps inspired Breath of the Wild's paraglider. Actually, the more I think about it, it reminds me of Glidon from Super Mario Odyssey, even down to the point that they are both enabled to gain altitude via an upward gust of wind. While the Deku Leaf proves to be an effective use for air travel, it actually makes decent means for an offensive item. Being able to stun enemies nearby proves to be useful early on, before Link is able to discover the boomerang. Overall, the Deku Leaf is able to be a unique and fun item within the Wind Waker. Number 4, the Magic Cloak. This item made its first and last debut in A Link to the Past. It's not even mandatory to complete the game whatsoever. Actually, as a kid, I remember stumbling upon the Magic Cloak by complete accident. The feeling of awe really resonated with me even to this day. It felt as if I was the few who'd actually managed to discover the secret on their own. The item itself even outweighs the means of discovering it. In the practical sense, the cloak enables Link to bypass attacks via invincibility. Though on the downside, it does require tons of magic over a long period of time. This is why it was not most likely reintroduced in A Link Between Worlds. Since the game heavily relies on many items that use magic in rapid succession, having the cloak in tangent with perhaps the bow or any other magical item would result in the meter running out extremely quickly. Overall, the magic cloak is an interesting part of Link's inventory that hopefully could make a return one day. Number 3, the Roc's Feather. Link has had many interesting and overall unique tools over the years, one of those frankly being the Roc's Feather. This has of course had many iterations over the years, including the Roc's Cape and the Minish Cap. The basic Roc's Feather, although is truly uncanny within a normal Zelda game, the player discovers this item within the first dungeon within A Link's Awakening, enabling Link to jump freely at will. In typical 2D Zelda fashion, it is unusual to jump, especially when the game throws side-scroller sections, very much reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. Throughout the game, its use is still intact and expanded upon very nicely. For instance, when combined with the Pegasus Boots, it leads to new uses to traverse across massive gaps. Oh, speaking of. Number 2, the Pegasus Boots. I was personally split on whether I should have included this or the bunny hood, though eventually I decided upon the Pegasus Boots because I had decided to exclude masks from the list entirely. At that rate, a majority of items would have been masks. They perhaps would make another great list in the future. Okay, aside from that, why did I overall choose the Pegasus Boots? Well, to put it frankly, it's a necessity within its debut games, and A Link to the Past is extremely useful to build those quickly around Hyrule. It can even be used as an offensive option via trampling enemies within your line of dash. Thankfully, this item is bestowed rather early on in Link to the Past, so the boots are used practically throughout the entire game. All in all, the Pegasus Boots made quite the lasting impression, perhaps inspiring the bunny hood, and even making a very nice reintroduction in Link Between Worlds. Number 1, the double claw shot. While at first glance it may seem lazy just to simply reuse another claw shot into Link's inventory, it surprisingly puts a new spin on things. Projecting yourself wall to wall is reminiscent of perhaps Spider-Man. The dungeon that introduces this tool uses it to its fullest potential. This point is reimbursed during the boss fight. And tangent with the iron boots, Link is tasked to weigh down this massive dragon, which leads to a climactic boss fight. Frankly, I feel like this item should be a staple in all future Zelda games, though after its reintroduction in Skyward Sword, it hasn't seen a return in Breath of the Wild. It seems like a missed opportunity. How satisfying would it have been to claw shot across grand mountaintops? Perhaps at that rate that would have nullified the importance of using the stamina bar to climb? Well, who knows, maybe this could be fixed or improved upon in a new Zelda game. All in all, The Zelda series incorporates extremely iconic and memorable items. Items that arguably could make or break the dungeon that they are introduced in. While the Zelda series continues, I hope Nintendo will continue to experiment with new sorts of items in the near future. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will be making consistent content like this in the near future. I link my Twitch in the description below. Check it out if you guys want. I stream practically every day, and I hope to see you guys next time.